Hi, everybody. Christy Giannoni with my week one intro and budget identification for MPA 530 public finance and budgeting with Dr. Groves. So I am excited to get to work with some of the other colleagues that I've had in classes prior, and also very excited to get to work and know some of the individuals that I have yet to meet. So a little bit about me. I will start with the fun stuff. Both of these pictures are me. So the one on the right, where I am in a bald cap, this was a part of a Addams Family Halloween costume that I did. I was Uncle Fester. And so Halloween is a huge fun thing for me. I love getting into the spirit. I love decorating. I love all things fall and pumpkin. And it's really fun because everybody has kind of got to know that I brought my personality. And so they always send me pictures or buy me all the new pumpkin stuff that comes out every year. So it's already started. I know it's August, but I am already getting into the spirit and trying to think of what costume I can rope my coworkers into doing with me. Because yes, I did show up like this to work, which was very fun because people did not recognize me and we had a good time. So always really get into the Halloween spirit just for the fun. It's just a holiday where you don't have to worry about buying people gifts or going anywhere. You just get to be creative and fun. And so it's always been one of my favorite holidays. And then I am very into houseplants. That was kind of my COVID pandemic hobby that I got into, being able to buy stuff to decorate my, work from home space and feel like there was just something colorful and living in my desk area. And so there has been some trial and error. I will say that not all plants have survived Casa de Giannoni, but it is something that is still very fun and something that I like to, talk to people about. There's kind of a culture out there. So a little bit less commitment than an animal. But still takes a lot of care and watering, quite literally. So that's been kind of a fun hobby that I got into. And then I'm also a big sports fan. I am mostly dedicated to watching the Angels and the Chargers. I've been able to go to a couple Angels games so far this season and hoping to get to SoFi Stadium. I know there's a couple Chargers fans in this class that I know of. So go Chargers, and we will see what the season holds. So I also love spending time with my family and my friends. I'm lucky to have family close by, but when I'm not, at work or in school, these are my hobbies that I'm interested in. And so speaking of work, my professional life, I work for the city of Glendora. I have been with the city for 6 years. I was hired as an administrative assistant, and 2 promotions later, I am currently the human resources analyst. So in that bottom right, you can see a picture of the city's 1915 LaFranc fire truck. It's a vintage fire truck that we get to use at some of our city events. And for any Disney fans, it's actually the same fire engine that Downtown Disney has. And then in that top left corner, that is a picture of City Hall. So as you can kind of see, we are an older city. There's a lot of rich history. The city was established in 1912. But with some of the older cities, that can come with challenges of modernization and change. And so that is something that we have seen in the budget process, and we're working through to make the city's budget a little more modernized. And so as the HR analyst, I do have oversight of the division's budget. So it's a fairly small budget. We are not dealing with CIP projects. We don't have a lot of grant funding, and so it's fairly simple. The majority of ours is just those projections that are hard to determine, for recruitment costs and other expenses that we don't exactly know how many vacancies we're going to have aside from the newly budgeted positions. But that's typically what the majority of our budget is surrounded by, benefits, health and wellness, and recruitment expenses as well. So I'm excited for this course to kind of get a broader overview of budget. I know that what we're working on over in my division's budget is fairly simple and straightforward. And so last on this slide is what I saved up for. The first thing that I recall pinching pennies for is that little purple egg that people may or may not recognize, but it was a Tamagotchi, so the big hit toy in the 90s. I wanted one so badly, and so that was the first thing that I remember saving up for, and it was hilarious. It was so sensitive. If you did not walk it or feed it, it would die on you. And so I remember my parents were very frustrated that I was so dedicated to this Tamagotchi, but that is the first thing that I recall budgeting for as a kid. And so the budget that I chose to take a look at is the City of Palmdale. So this is going to be their fiscal year 2021. It's a standard fiscal year of July 1 to June 30th, and they do an annual budgeting process. So this is a fairly large budget considering that they do not have public safety, so they don't have police or fire, and they do not have their own utilities. And so the reason that I chose to take a look at this budget is because of this quote that I found in their opening. And so as a result of the downturn of the economy, the FY 2021 budget reflects a decrease in revenues by approximately 12% while expenditures continue to rise. So I think it'll be interesting to take a look at how they are addressing the pandemic effects on the budget. Palmdale is a fairly up and coming city, and so the budget itself is laid out in a very good way. I will link it above my presentation for anybody that wants to take a look. It's very user friendly, it's got a lot of graphics, and it's very easy to follow along. So thank you, everybody. I look forward to learning more about this course. And as always, I like to leave with this Isaiah 6:8. It reminds me of public servitude and why we're doing what we're doing. So thank you for listening to my presentation.